All right, hope you guys had a good Christmas yesterday. Enjoyed some time at home. Thought we had a good day of preparation yesterday. We were good in meeting rooms, good when we went out. The same thing continued today. I've asked these guys constantly through the course of the year just prepare with the focus on that day, and I think they've done a good job of that, especially as of late. So, any questions? You trying to think of something? I mean, hell, we.
Statement there. The challenge, I know you're all professionals, but the challenge of going to a road game against a 1-14 team with nothing, on the line standings wise, just what kind of challenge is that for the coaches?
Well, when you have 16 games, each one of them is precious, and it doesn't matter when they come on the schedule. You've got to treat them all the same, and that's what I was just talking about as far as preparing. Today being Thursday, prepare for Thursday. Then you get to the game and you put your best foot forward and you compete every play, and that's what you do. I mean, I don't know any other way to answer that. It's one of 16 games, and your job is to go out and try to compete every time you step out on the football field and win the football game. So nothing's changed.
Happened on the defensive side of the ball, the vast change of personnel as the season's gone along. Just what's Sheldon Richardson meant to that group?
I think Sheldon's done a good job of when he shows up on Sundays. You see him from sideline to sideline playing hard every play. Doesn't matter what the situation is. He tries to compete every play and very active, a lot of energy. He's been very good.
Would you like to see Odell end up with over 1,000 yards? Would that be some little small consolation prize from this season?
No, I don't. We're going to try to win the game. So, however the stats work out, they work out. I'm more concerned about being efficient, doing what we're supposed to do. I'm pretty sure Odell's the same way.
We talked about Baker and how he's not a quarterback guru kind of guy. He doesn't go to somebody specific in the offseason. If he changed his mind and decided he wanted to do that just because of whatever struggles this year, would you be good with that?
I always want these guys to try to be the best version of themselves, and whatever they feel like they need to do that. I mean, I'm not opposed to anything. I want them to work and try to get better each and every day.
A couple weeks ago, Dale was much more clear, at least with us. I want to be here at least next year. Baker, I think, on Sunday said, we got to get these guys together this offseason. We got to figure some things out. How much more can this passing offense be, and in particular the connection between Baker and Odell, this just being their first season figuring things out with some adversity, injury and all that stuff?
Well, I think when you start talking in terms of that, I think everybody understands that we've got work to do. We've got things to improve on, and in a lot of different areas. It's not just that. It's just, and if everybody's willing to put the work in, we'll be fine. And I think everybody that's here is committed to doing that. So just put your head down, whether it's off season, in season, whatever, and just keep working and getting better. And eventually those kind of things fall into place, and they happen after time.
The Bengals came back in their last game, the loss to the Dolphins. What did that show you, and does that make it easy for you to try to get your team ready for them?
Well, listen, if you can, again, this is one of 16, and there's no quit in Cincinnati. We're expecting to get their best shot. The last game means nothing. Last week means nothing to either one of us, but what they did now, they should feel very good, and I'm sure they do about what they did. They're down 35-12 with 6 minutes to go on the clock, and then down 16 with 3 minutes to go on the clock. So, that was remarkable. That was one for the history books. If just to get it to overtime, they did a remarkable job.
Freddie, you're focused on 1-0 this week, Cincinnati. It's been the mantra. At some point, given all the close finishes you guys have had, some of the bizarre incidents that have happened, to your team throughout the year. Will you either, after the season, regardless of what happens, look back and say, yeah, what could have been with this team if we just had a couple things break our way?
Yeah, I think every year is that way, for the bad and for the good, because there's good things that happen too to enable you to win some games. So at the end of the day, all that kind of stuff sort of works itself out. But of course, I think there's there's always things you look back on, but there's no reason to do that now. At some point, we go back and evaluate and see what we could have done different, collectively, individually, everybody.
What's to say about Odell that he fought through that injury and he looks like he's going to be able to play all 16 games for you?
Well, I think he's done a good job of continuing to fight through things, and pretty much all year. So. He's a competitor. He likes to compete. So when people like to compete, they're willing to pay the price just a little bit more.
Likewise for Baker playing all 16 games this year, is that pretty remarkable? It usually doesn't happen here, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think your quarterback needs to be one of I think he needs to be the most physical or the most tough, mentally and physically person on your team. And I think Baker is mentally and physically tough. You have to fight through things as a quarterback, mentally, of course, but physically as well. I mean, there's some games you get knocked around pretty good, and you have to be ready to get back out on the practice field and practice and get better, and do away with all the other stuff and just focus on getting better. And he's done a good job of that. But yeah, I saw that stat about 2001 first time, so yeah, I guess it is remarkable. I mean, I think it says a lot about the resolve and resiliency of Baker and Odell and several guys. There's been several guys been playing injured, so everybody's. I said it back in training camp. You're never going to feel normal until March, and that's the way the football season is.
Freddie, in preseason, it's almost become a practice or a custom to let another coach try his hand on the fourth game play call. You got that chance 2 years ago. Is there any discussion at all or thinking in your mind to have Todd call plays in this game?
We're going to always evaluate and do the best thing and the thing that I think gives us the best chance to win. So, no. I mean, I think Todd's done a good job all year of keeping us on course during the course of the week. I just feel more comfortable calling the plays right now. Nothing against Todd. Todd will do an excellent job of calling the plays, but we're focused this week on just getting better at what we've been doing.
Your knee surgery for the knee?
I don't think so. Not unless something has changed since, yesterday. I think he had another appointment, but I don't think so. I think he's going to be fine. Just a few weeks, I think.
For Baker, if you could kind of give him a checklist for the offseason, what do you want that to look like for him? Some of the things that he could work on.
I want Baker focused on the Cincinnati Bengals right now. That's the only thing I want Baker focused on. I'm not worried about the offseason yet. We'll talk about that next week.
I know. I'm just asking you about the season right now, even though you're focused on the Bengals.
Where's Jeff? I mean, Jeff would get you straightened out.
I just he talked about footwork a lot with us. Why was that just off this year, and how difficult is it to correct it? How can that be addressed?
Well, I mean, I really want to focus on Cincinnati. I don't want to go into our plans for the offseason or nothing like that. I'm just going to focus on Cincinnati. I'm sure we'll have another one of these and we can talk about that then.
It does seem clear, though, that he's regressed. Would you agree with that?
I think he's going to do the best he can do this week to get ready for Cincinnati.
How about Olivier Vernon? Do you think he might it out
Yeah,
there?
he's got a chance. It's an ongoing thing, and it's really a day-to-day thing.
Going into the combine, Baker said, Cleveland draft me, you want to turn things around. Very confident in his ability to kind of have people rally around him. Been some adversity this year. What do you think he's learned about leadership from this season, and then as far as it relates to being a quarterback, and then what do you think he's learned about being a quarterback in of itself in the NFL through this season?
I think, like I've said before, being a quarterback on and off the field is ever evolving. You're never going to be the same. You're always evolving. You're always getting better at things and situations, and the whole aspect of playing quarterback in the National Football League is more than just showing up on Sundays and playing. And everybody knows that. And I think you can continue to get better in each area. And he knows that, and he's committed to doing that. Everybody here is. Everybody's committed to getting better. And I think that's the way it starts. And it's not an overnight deal. So it's Baker understands that he needs to continue to get better in all the areas.
Have you relied somewhat on,
Good question, though.
I'm sorry,
Jake.
have you relied at all on Steve Wilkes over these past few weeks in terms of just, having to answer questions about job security, given what he had to go through last year in Arizona? Has he been a useful resource for you in that way?
I think Steve and Todd and Preef and a bunch of our coaches have a lot of experience, and I haven't talked to them one time about job security, but I do lean on them for certain questions and stuff. One of them's not being job security.
Here goes another question about a guy's season. We voted Nick Chubb the Player of the Year. So just what do you think of that? What do you think of what he's been able to give you guys? And we voted Sheldon Richardson the Good Guy Award winner. So what do you think of that one, too?
I'm happy for them. I mean, are you guys going to give them an award? Like,
Those plaques.
Plaque back there.
do they really? Yeah. Very good. I think, Sheldon is a good guy. So you guys voted a good guy there. We've got a lot of good guys here, but Sheldon's definitely one of them. And you guys know how I feel about Nick. Nick's one of the hardest workers we have. He shows up every day in meetings and on the field trying to get better, and he's done an outstanding job of that.
Richardson trying to take more on as a leader when the defense faced a lot of adversity with Miles being suspended?
Yeah, I think so. I think he understood that his role sort of changed when that happened, and especially not having Olivier out there, that role kind of increased, and I think he's done a good job of that.
Freddie, this being the last game of the year, is your schedule on Monday any different? I mean, will you conduct exit interviews with players?
Yeah, we'll do exit interviews, and I think that's pretty standard. Everywhere I've ever been, we've done that. So yeah, we do that here.
What about you and your bosses? Does anything change on the last game of the year?
I don't know. We meet every Monday, so nothing. I'm sure my schedule next week is going to be probably pretty much the same as it normally is. Yeah.
Did the team rally around getting Chubb the rushing title, not just the offense?
I think our team will rally around getting a win and trying to do anything we can to get a win. We need a win. That's what you play the game for.